Hi, my name is Usman, and in today's video training of HTML, we are going to look at HTML attributes. HTML attributes provide additional information about HTML elements. All HTML elements can have attributes. Attributes provide additional information about elements. Attributes are always specified in the start tag. Attributes usually come in name value pairs like name equals value. Let's look at the href attribute. The a tag or the anchor tag defines a hyperlink. The href attribute specifies the URL of the page link goes to. For example, we have a visit Yahoo hyperlink, and within the anchor tag start tag we have the href attribute. So let's see this. First create a project file and I call this html attributes.html, and let's create a link a href https www.yahoo.com and yahoo so href here is the href attribute within the anchor tag. Okay, next is the src attribute. The img or the image tag is used to embed an image in an HTML page. The src attribute specifies the path to the image to be displayed. For example, if you want to embed an image with the name img_girl.jpg, you just use the src attribute of the image tag. So we have image, let's say name.jpg, and let's close the tag. So that's how you use the src attribute. Now there are some important points about the src attribute in the image tag. First is the absolute URL. These are links to an external image that is hosted on another website. For example, yahoo.com/images/imggirl.jpg. Note that the external images might be under copyright. If you do not get permission to use it, you may be in violation of copyright laws. In addition, you cannot control external images. It can suddenly be removed or changed. The second is the relative URL, links to an image that is hosted within the website. Here the URL does not include the domain name. If the URL begins without a slash, it will be relative to the current page. For example, img_girl, or if the URL begins with a slash, it will be relative to the domain. Example is src images/imggirl.jpg. So it is most always best to use relative URLs. They will not break if you change domain. Let's look at how this works. So okay, let's open some website. Let's open Google Chrome and let's open yahoo.com, and let's say we have this image. We right click on this image, open image in new tab. See, we have got the full URL of the image. So we go back to our program and we just embed it, and we go back to the terminal and Google Chrome and HTML attributes. You see, we have embedded an external image, but as you can see, the source is an external image which is hosted on another server. So if that server is down or if there is an internet issue, this image won't be displayed. But if I save this image locally on my hard drive, and if even the internet is not working or the website is down, I'll still be able to use this image. Let me call this sample image dot webp. Save this image. Okay, now if I just clean this up and I say sample image dot wp and I refresh the page, you see I still have the image, but this time this image is loaded from my hard drive instead of an external server. So this is a difference between absolute URL and relative URL images. Okay, let's look at the width and height attributes. The img tag should also contain the width and height attributes, which specifies the width and height of image in pixels. So let's say we have this image and we want to give it a width of let's say 600 pixel and height of let's say 800 pixels. Save this file, go back to the browser, refresh. You see we have set the height and width of the image, and then there is an alt attribute. The required alt attribute for the image tag specifies an alternate text for an image. If the image for some reason cannot be displayed, this can be due to slow connection or an error in the src attribute, or if the user uses a screen reader. So let's see this how it works. Let me add a alt attribute and say this image is unavailable, and let me change this to so this image doesn't loads. You see, instead of the image we have this message, sorry, this image is unavailable. This is because of the alt attribute. Alt, you can say alt stands for alternate. Okay, let's look at the style attribute. The style attribute is used to add styles to an element such as color, font, size and more. Let's see a simple example of a paragraph tag, and for example we have a paragraph tag with the string "the lazy fox jumped over the fence," and let me add a color to it. Let's say blue, and save the file, go back to the browser, refresh the page. You see we have a sentence "lazy fox jumped over the fence" in blue color because we added style to it. We can also increase the font size of this sentence and the p tag, and go back to the browser. You see now we have a bigger font size. So that's how you can use the style attribute. The next attribute is the lang attribute. You should always include the lang attribute inside the HTML tag to declare the language of the web page. This is meant to assist search engines and browsers. The following example specifies English as the language. So you can see here HTML lang equals en. So you can specify here, if you are creating a website, you can specify the lang attribute here. It's very important for the search engine. First is the doc type, and we have HTML. So this is the lang attribute. Country code can also be added to the language code in the lang attribute. So the first two characters define the language of the HTML page, and the last two characters define the country. The following example specifies English as the language and United States as the country. You can see we have mentioned EN US. So US stands for United States and EN stands for English. Okay, the next thing we have is the title attribute. The title attribute defines some extra information about an element. The value of the title attribute will be displayed as a tooltip when you mouse over the element. Let's add a title to our paragraph tag. Okay, let me add the title attribute here. So funny sentence. Okay, save this, go back to the browser, refresh, and you see when I hover over the sentence, I can see a small tooltip that says funny sentence. So that is due to the title attribute. Okay, single or double quotes. Double quotes around attribute values are the most common in HTML, but single quotes can also be used. In some situations, when the attribute value itself contains double quotes, it is necessary to use single quotes. For example, you have a sentence that have a double quotes around a word within a sentence. So you need to use a single quote around the whole sentence, or vice versa. You can use the double quotes for the whole sentence and single quotes for the word within the single quotes. So that was it about the HTML attributes. I hope you have learned something, and if you liked my video, please don't forget to subscribe my channel. See you next time with a new topic in HTML. Till then, bye.